We're 2 hours into trading on Monday, December 6th. Hello, traders. Let's take a look at the market very quickly, see what's going on. We had some pretty heavy selling on Friday. Long red bar closing off the low, but very, very negative. You can see the selling pressure in here. Today, the market's actually bouncing. We've got a nice little rally going. I will do market analysis in just a second. My suspicion is from right here, we are going to see a rally and a breakout through this high. So, market up, and the pick that I had from Friday was a short. Bound to be a loser, right? Wrong. Winner. I ran some searches on Friday. I found one stock when I put all the criteria together, and I said, I'm not even going to look at the chart. I'm just going to say short this one. This is my short of the day. CMPS was your stock of the day from Friday. You can see the stock did bounce a little bit with the market on Friday. There's your weakness and your follow through today. Go to that daily chart. We'll see that the stock is breaking major horizontal support. Still looks like an excellent short to me. But Pete, look at how weak the stock is. Oh my gosh, yeah, shorted up here. Okay, here, yeah, here. Down here, really? You want to short stocks that are weak. You want to buy stocks that are super, super strong. So you don't need to be fading the longer term trend. You want to be going with it. It's a very key concept. So oftentimes we've got lots of traders constantly looking for reversals. So if I'm looking for a decent short right now, I'm not looking for a stock that just came off of a 52-week high. That stock has lots of strength. I'm looking for a short. I don't mind shorting a stock that is making a new 52-week low. So let's see what else we can find for today. I'm going to go into some market analysis very quickly. From my recent comments, I feel that the market conditions are changing. We have a market that is priced for perfection. How can you say that, Pete? Come on. Valuations haven't been this stretched since the year 2000, and that was the tech bubble. And I'm talking about forward PE. So obviously, if the market valuations haven't been this high in 20 years, yes, it's priced for perfection. We do not have perfection right now. We've got slowing economic conditions in China. They've been the growth engine for 2 decades. China's market is in bear market territory right now. Evergrande looking more and more like that real estate property developer is going to default. And a number of other property developers in China are saying that they are seeing tight credit conditions. So credit is tightening up. They have an economy that's struggling to regain itself. Jobs report on Friday, 210,000 new jobs. They're looking for 500,000 new jobs. That is a really dismal number. In the meantime, you've got slowing economic conditions and a Fed that's telling you that they are going to accelerate tapering. We know that from Jerome Powell's testimony before Congress last week. He said we're probably going to have to taper more quickly. The word transient is being taken out of the inflation context. They were using that word a lot. Now they're like, no, inflation looks like it's going to be quite persistent. That is going to put upward pressure on interest rates. Higher interest rates, slowing economic conditions, not perfect. So we have some very strong headwinds. And if the market can't get back up to the high of the year here at SPY 470, and we kind of close the year on a whimper down in here, I view that as a bearish omen for 2022. It's rare. We don't see it very often because asset managers are typically bidding stocks up on light volume so that everything gets marked at its high at year end, and their assets under management are at all-time highs because that's how they get paid. They get paid on a percentage of assets under management. And that is one of the reasons that you typically see year-end rallies. November and December are usually very, very strong months. Well, November, no problem. December, not so much. So this weakness has to start running its course very, very quickly so that we can get a couple of decent weeks left out of the year. My suspicion is that we are going to finish the year off of the highs. We have long red candles, long green candles, huge intraday ranges. This is not a good market environment for swing traders who have a 3 or 4 week outlook. So you've got to be very, very careful, very selective with your out of the money bullish put spreads. And you can expect that you're going to take some heat. For swing traders, I think this is really a good time to be on the sidelines. Let some of this uncertainty run its course. But for day traders, it's fantastic. So we're going to look for a couple of opportunities on the long side. We'll look for one opportunity on the long side, one opportunity on the short side. Just personally, if I look at this price action, it tells me that I don't think we're going to get a nice, decent, sustained rally until we test this support another time and confirm it. And the 100-day moving average was very, very close. So let's put up those major moving averages because the market dictates everything that we do. Market first, market first, market first. So here we can see that the 50-day moving average was tested. This 452 level is also horizontal support for the market. This is a good support level. You can see that the 100-day moving average was just about touched on Friday, and now we got a nice little bounce in here. So if we get a green candle up here tomorrow, then we may have a chance to start building off of this test of support. But my gut tells me that we haven't seen the end of the selling pressure and we could come down and test that 100-day moving average again. Why? Why do you feel that way, Pete? Well, when you're a trader, you've got to always be looking ahead. What could possibly be a speed bump that's going to spark some nervousness? Well, how about the FOMC meeting that's coming up a week from this Wednesday? Everyone is really talking about accelerated tapering and the chance for an interest rate hike in the first half of 2022. Well, that would certainly spark some profit taking. So I think we're going to see a lid on the market until we get that FOMC statement. So I would be a little bit guarded trying to buy and take overnight longs. Let's go into the 5-minute chart. And let me tell you why I think the market's going to go higher in here. So, first of all, context, context, context. You come into the trading day and you're wondering what the heck you should do and which side you should play. Well, the first thing, there's the high from Friday. There's the low from Friday. When we opened in here, I said this is going to be an inside day, folks. We know that inside days are no bueno, especially if they are light volume, especially if they have a mix of green and red candles. All of this is in my pre-open market comments, so you can go check that out on YouTube. There's a link in the description of this video. Long red candle, long green candle, lots of chop, mixed candles, tails under body. In here, we had a bullish 10p cross, so I did buy futures in here when I saw these tails, made about 12 points on that trade, and then I took profits. Why? Because I'm expecting a choppy day. There's not a lot going on. As soon as I see it hit resistance in here, it's not going any higher. We've got some tails above body in here. Take your gains. You've also got resistance fairly nearby here, and we haven't seen anything to tell us that we're going to start stacking long green candles. Volume fairly light. Now we're trapped in this range right here. So we get a bearish 10p cross right up here. And I had mentioned to members in the chat room, this is not something you want to short right away. You need confirmation like a double top. Ooh, okay. Well, this is interesting. Things seem to be hitting resistance in here. Maybe we're going to get a little retracement. But as that 10p cross happens, you can see it came all the way below zero. Nothing happened. The market just kind of treaded water. Okay, well, now we're on a bullish cross. Let's let this bullish cycle run. Let's see what happens during this bullish cycle. Are we going to get a breakout through the high of the day? Let's put an alert up there just so that we know in case we're focused on a few charts. We'll be able to see if the high of the day is broken. That's what I would want to see out of this bullish 10p cycle. If it happens early in the cycle, we've got a chance to maybe go up and challenge the high from Friday. This looks like a go nowhere December market without a lot of activity, no direction, lots of mixed candles. I don't think we're going to go very far at all. So the message there is don't trade S&P futures because they're going to chop all over the place, be very difficult unless you're a scalper. And You should focus on stocks, but you should set relatively passive targets, and you've got to be very selective in your trades. So I'm only going to say this once. I am looking for some stocks to day trade today. I do not want to swing trade any of them. None of them. Because I don't like this price action. I don't like the daily price action on the market. I don't like the price action I'm seeing intraday. But if we get a bullish cross and we get a breakout, then these are the stocks I would want to be buying. If the bullish 10P cycle runs and we get a bearish cross like that and we take out the low, this 456.50 level, then I would be looking to short some of the stocks that we're going to find. So I'm just going to be looking for stocks that want to move higher, stocks that want to move lower. And I'm going to go into my searches and take a look at what we've got here. I'll go into Pop Bull, UNP. That is a nice looking stock. I do like that. It pulled back a little bit here. It tested the bottom of this horizontal support, but you can see it's got relative strength. Orange line above zero. That tells you that this stock is trying to break out of this compression and go higher, even when the market has been down, down, down. Let's put up the SPY. You can see here's the SPY. It's a little bit obscured by the chart, but wham, wham, wham. S&P 500 has been down, but look at this stock. At a time when the S&P is barely getting off the deck here, this stock's ready to make a new high. It wants to go. It wants to break out. Let's put up the M5 chart, see if that gives us any kind of information. Oh, so here we go. We've got a nice downward sloping trend line. How do I play this, Pete? I still don't know how to put these pieces together. What are you telling me? I'm telling you that if you get a bullish 10P cross, you get a breakout on the S&P above this high of the day, then you should be looking for longs. And if UNP can get through this downward sloping trend line, it has relative strength, orange line above zero, it is a stock that's going to move higher. You could draw a downward sloping trend line like this, but you can see that it's going to be triggered almost instantly because just the passage of time will trigger that. So I would prefer to just drop an alert line right there, horizontal alert line. That's all I need. So let's see if we can find something else. That easy. Am I trading it? No, I'm waiting. I don't have all the conditions set up. There's no reason for me to get in. Let's say the market does this and it takes a gigantic dump right here. Why would I want to be in this stock? It's probably going to go donk the same thing. If you get that big market drop, though, I would definitely be watching this to see if it holds its own. If it does, somewhere later in the day, probably still going to be a really good long. No reason for me to trade it until it gets above that point and the market above that point. Let's take a look at the next stock, UNH. That came up on our heavy buying search. Look at how well it's holding the high of the day, just like the market. I like it. You can see got a little bit of resistance at the high of the day, and we'll go into the daily chart. I did look at it. I do like that bullish flag. There's your flagpole. Nice long big flagpole. There's your pullback. You can see how we're starting to get above that downward sloping trend line. I do like UNP. I think it sets up pretty well, but it's not very good for options. I'm just going to put an alert here, right here. And if the stock breaks through it, I might trade the stock. Alibaba has been just the weakest stock imaginable. Look at that. It's just falling apart. You do not want to be in here buying these bounces. If you are a very nimble day trader, okay, you can do it, but you are going to be trying to be in and out of that stock and you're going to be super, super safe about it. The problem is that a lot of novice traders have been trained buy low and sell high. Hey, look, it doesn't get much lower than this. This must be a good entry point. Wrong. Typically, you're going to get a little bit of a bounce in here, and this could simply be some short sellers who are taking profits. So you get this little dead cat bounce, and then you're in, and the stock is grinding higher, and it looks great all day, and you're excited, and then blam, here comes a red candle out of nowhere because these sellers are still looking to unload stock. And so you get blindsided and you go, where the heck did that come from? That was out of nowhere. Look at the chart. Look at the daily chart. This is not a stock you should be in. Follow the trend. Very simple principle, but a lot of people seem to have difficulty with that. I like McDonald's starting to get through this resistance level in here. I traded it today, bought it, made a little bit of money on it, but it just doesn't have the momentum to get through this resistance. I can drop a GTC alert line here. Look at how choppy it is. Up, down, up, down, up, down. This is a restaurant stock, so it's not going to have a lot of momentum like some of the tech stocks, so not a favorite. UAL, nice bounce in the gap here, D1 gap through horizontal resistance. Yes, you could trade this on a day trading basis. You would not want to swing trade that. Look at the relative strength. Yes, I think UAL, UNP, transportation stocks in general, they look good to me. These airlines tend to be super choppy though. Boeing was also getting some decent price action today. We're going to continue to go through the list, and as you can visually scan it, Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, Spirit Airlines, American Airlines, Jets. You can see JetBlue. Okay, that's a very hot group today. So know that you got a little bit of a tailwind in the group. Things look pretty good for it. Yes, that would be where I would be looking for opportunities on the long side. So let's find one that we like in here. And I think UNP, because it is a transportation stock and because it is near the all-time high and it did not get hit, and it will not be as sensitive to some of the other issues with the COVID variant, like United Airlines and Delta. Who knows the Omicron variant, what that might cause to travel. UNP, railroad, won't have those same issues. So yeah, I like UNP. I think that's probably going to be my long of the day. That's what I would be looking to buy. Market breakout through this horizontal resistance. Yes, that would be a long. I don't really need to go any further. Don't see the point to it. You're going to see some stocks moving higher that are what I call consumer staple stocks. McDonald's would be one, KR, Procter and Gamble. Those all look good, but that is a rotation. That is a risk off rotation. When the market starts getting real iffy, asset managers look to park money in some of those safer stocks. So the economy gets a little bit tough. The market starts to sag a little bit. Are people going to stop buying Frito-Lay? Probably not. So Pepsi will hang in there better than most other stocks. So that's why you're seeing a rotation into Kroger and some of these other food stocks. So I like those stocks in general. They look good. I think that the airlines pose a nice little trade during the day, so you can get onto some of those. Let's go into heavy selling, see what we've got there. Not a whole lot. Bear run. I'm going to run a search for these because I'm not seeing a lot of candidates with the market being higher. So let's go in and let's look for, well, let's just run a search and see what we got. I'm going to start out with good option liquidity, and I want a stock that's below the prior day low. Let's take a step back and think about this intuitively. Market higher, stock below the prior day's low. Just right off the bat, that should tell me that this stock has some relative weakness. But we've also got a market that's kind of been inching higher here. So let's look for relative weakness on maybe a 15-minute basis and a 30-minute basis. So we could even go 5-minute basis and see if there's anything coming up. Now we got quite a few stocks actually. All right, now we got some work to do. I need to make sure that I have a good tailwind for the stock. So I'm going to go through some of these, and that would not be bad, but getting a little bit extended on the sell-off there. I'd like to catch it a little bit higher. BNGO, the same thing. BNTX, not bad. Upward sloping trend line. Breached to the downside. 100-day moving average violated. resting on the 50-day. Not bad. This is not a bad one. Let's take a look at that 5-minute chart. And there you can see stock is trying to bounce a little bit off the low of the day. This is heavy, persistent selling. Overlay the SPY and you'll see SPY sideways doing nothing. Stock ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Sellers are unloading it. They can't wait to unload this stock. So wait for these bounces, wait for it to run its course, wait for the market to show that this resistance is in place, wait for that bearish 10P cycle, watch for the stock to start rolling over, and then it should have its next leg lower down to a new low of the day. Still have not found my short of the day. That one's not bad though, and that's why I like it. Chewy, woo, Chewy's getting chewed up here. We got a new low through horizontal support on a daily chart. Not a good one. Let's take off that SPY overlay just to clear up the chart a little bit. Yeah, see, this is not a great looking chart. You've got a stock that bounced, and then with the market being flat, now it's starting to make lower highs. Chewy looks like it could be in trouble today. So that may not be a bad short. CRWD, also pretty nasty in there. DKS, you would think would have some nice strength into the holiday season. Whoops, not so much. 100-day moving average intact, long red candles stacking. It is above the 200-day, so you don't have a lot of room. If you're day trading it, know that you've got room down here, but you gotta take profits. Put up the 5-minute chart. DKS almost down to that low right there, not the low of the day, but a support level. And that was also the low from Friday. So yeah, if it gets through this level, put the alert line up. These alert lines, you should be using them constantly. I do it all the time, almost every stock I'm dropping alert lines because I want to keep moving. I want to keep looking. I want to keep looking for that great stock. While I'm doing that, all of a sudden I get a pop-up alert. Oh yeah, hey, you know what? This is a critical price point on this stock. And look, it breached it. Maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the stock I need to be trading now. If you are not using alert lines, you are really missing some great opportunities. Etsy down on the low of the day, struggling, 100-day moving average. Etsy takes out this 100-day moving average. It's got room down to the 200-day moving average. That's nice. I got to start skipping through some of these, folks. That's a nice little breakdown right in there, like that. That doesn't look too bad. This is the process that you go through to find your shorts. mRNA, getting through this 200-day moving average. You can see that is a upward sloping trend line right in there that's been violated to the downside. Looks like it could be a good short. NET has been a high flyer. Yowzer, that is some nasty selling taking place there. But you can see how it really ran high. Now there's some stiff profit taking place below the 100-day. Boy, I could argue for that one. That could be my short of the day right there. And VTA, nice, orderly, continuing to sell. All right, I think you're getting an idea. Upward sloping trend line. Touch, 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 almost touch. Lots of touches. 50-day moving average, PANW. Looks like it could be a nice one on a fail of that 50-day moving average. So I would say that's one that you might want to keep an eye on. And I'm just going to do a couple more here. Target. Interesting. That's been a pretty high flyer. So out of all of these, what do I want to have as my short of the day? DKS looks awful good. I do like that one. Chewy looked good. These are retail stocks that you would think would do really well into year end. So Chewy looks pretty good also. NET also looked good. I'm seeing some weakness in tech. Let's take a quick look at tech stocks as well here. QQQ. We'll go right into the Qs, see what they're doing. That'll give us an idea of how the QQQ is performing overall. And tech stocks have actually been quite soft. And you can see QQQ not really able to rally much, not like the S&P 500. Take a look at the daily chart. And there you can see orange line below zero. Tech stocks have actually been weak relative to the S&P 500. So NET is going to be the short of the day. That 100-day moving average is the key. That 100-day moving average comes into play at 147.93. So you'll want to make sure that you're using that for a stop. If you do short it, market doing nothing, stock bleeding, tick by tick by tick. Here's how we do this. Green, red, green, red. So market moving higher, 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 inching, stock not able to get off the deck. If you get a red bar in here from the market, whoosh, you're going to see a new low of the day in NET. So again, day trading picks, NET. I like it on the short side if the market is setting up for a nice move lower. On the long side, UNP was a long that I like, but you got to get above that downward sloping trend line. You got to get to a new high of the day for the market, and you got to get above that right there. Then you got a nice long in UNP. That's how we day trade, folks. That's our edge. Those are the tools that we use. Please spread the word. Please share your comments. If you write a comment, I'd love it if you just told me one thing that you learned from this video, because then that'll tell me for future videos the topics that I need to focus on. Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers, and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.